Yeah, man. Western Conference Podcast, your boy Bigbodycisco here. And when I tell you guys I have a treat for y'all, I'm not always not lying. But today I do have a treat for you guys because in the building, I have the legendary Konishki in the room one time. How you doing, sir?
Big Body Sumo in the house. Your one-stop sumo shop.
Come on, see, and when I say legendary, you already got to know. When they say Google me for you is on a whole nother level.
Man, I'm so glad I'm here because everybody, I've been watching your broadcast from Japan, and just happened I was on a tour, a West Coast tour, a couple weeks. In 3 weeks I was on the road, and I told you, man, I'm coming to Vegas, and that's one good reason for the coming here. I wanted to jump on to just be part of this this mission of you, all these Polynesians coming.
And I appreciate it too because the mission for us was to say everybody needs their story told. And when I say that, from the likes of Fiji, J-Boog, and everybody's out there, they know what they see on TV and what they see through everything else. But this is kind of more in depth. Yeah. And it really kind of got to me when Rich and Tone was here. And they were just telling me, they said, dude, you have to get Konishki on the show. And it's funny because after that episode had aired, you had hit me on Instagram. And you said, dude, I would love to do your show. And I'm like, no way. I was showing all my friends and stuff. I said, Konishki just hit me. But like for them to actually step outside their box, it's going to take us back. We're going to go start from the beginning. But to get those boys being in Japan, there was like, you were bigger than Michael Jackson out there.
Well, my career started 40 years ago. And that's a good thing about being here. It's what a way to end up the 222 years because celebrate 40 years, then coming to the West Coast with the sumo thing. And then being in Japan has, I got hooked up with everybody from the fighters to all the singers that came in. And then you have a Rich and Tone that came down. And then even Michael Jackson's bodyguards was also one guys. ESI was one of his.
They thought it was Michael Jackson in the lobby, but it was you.
It was like, it was in a crowd because I was talking to I knew the promoters, that's why. And then I told him, just come. I think he pretty want to meet you. Yeah. So we went. So when we came to the hotel, everybody was outside, so they followed me into the hotel. And then I saw those guys. Sole, I got to get up to the mic. And they go, oh, shit, we didn't know that was you.
Yeah. Because they was tripping. Well, I was tripping if you go Google Konishki and Michael Jackson, all these pictures come up. Yeah. But you guys had a relationship already before all this stuff was going on, right?
When you first came, we met. Yeah. And then people that ran his fan club in Japan is the boy that, the man that runs, his son was like a son to me.
Oh, wow. So you guys already had that relationship.
Yeah, we had a relationship and stuff. So not only that, just people that came in, they wanted to see sumo. And just happened, I was the foreigner at the time. Yeah. From Rocky Balboa to everybody. Our last celebrity 2 months ago was Stephen Curry.
And they seem like they're really like, he had the Konishki hoodie on, Steph Curry, because they're also amazed with the sport. But let's start there. Like I said, I like to start from the beginning. What got a kid like you from Hawaii to even get involved with sumo?
It's funny because everybody laughed to my story. 18 years old, 1982. Yeah. A month before I graduated, I was actually cutting out of class. Yeah. And down in
Hawaii.
Yeah, in Hawaii. Was surfing and stuff like that. And like, we come from big families. I have 10 kids in my family, and I was the second youngest in the family. So when it came to like a month before I graduated, just happened I was cutting class, and one of the guys who was renting boards in Waikiki stopped me over. He was an old man. He's very known. What you call to the WWE. Yeah. He was like the WWE top he was a legend.
Oh, wow. Okay. He was already in there.
Curtis the Booyah his name is. So the old man, hey, come here. I know you're number 79 on Pac 5.
Because you was playing football in Hawaii.
I was playing football Pac 5. He said, you number 79. You look like one of those grand champions. I thought, uncle, bro, I don't know even nothing. Yeah. I know nothing about sumo, man. Yeah. No, you look like one of these. You can do a good sumo. I thought, okay, uncle. Next day we come back, we cutting class. He pulls me aside, keeps on talking to me. And then the legend itself, the guy who's the pioneer of us, getting us foreigners, Jesse Takamiyama, was from Maui. Yeah. So he was coming to town. I knew who he was, but I didn't really know what he was. Yeah. I know he was a celebrity. Never met a celebrity. And they asked me to come to the hotel. When they said hotel for lunch, I said, bro, I'm coming.
You don't got to say nothing else.
Yeah, just feed us, man. We come. So that's where it all started. And then all I wanted to know, I asked him, as long as I don't even burden my family. Financially, if you guys get me there and make sure that I don't have to call home for help and stuff like that, I'm gone. That same day, I just went and got my passport, got my visa on my own. My parents didn't know until a week left.
Oh, so you didn't tell them yet?
No, I told them right before.
What about your siblings? Did your siblings know that this
nobody knew. Yeah. Nobody. Even all my classmates, they're like freaking out. Like,
well, even still to this day, like that's something, especially as a Polynesian kid, that you don't really get asked to do. Especially being in Hawaii, we're already known as big people, but playing football was our thing, and that was it. For someone to come at you with a sumo, opportunity, how did that hit you as being a kid in Hawaii to say, this might be something I could do, but you're not even knowing about what the sport is?
Well, that's the best advice you can have is know nothing about it. And just be open with the ideas and open with what's going to be hitting you. And that's the way I advise kids. I'd rather know nothing and go with an open heart, and want to accept what's going to be coming. Yeah. Because that's the thing that really helped me, because I didn't try to judge what I was going to go through. I didn't try to wear what's would look like in Hawaii. Yeah. In Hawaii, would it be this? Would it be that? I just went, and my dad just told me, hey, you go to Japan, you got to be more Japanese than all the Japanese. And that's all it is.
Absolutely.
Accepting the culture and stuff like that. So when I went, I went there blind for real. I didn't know.
And what year was that you went to Japan?
1982, June 19th, I arrived in Japan.
Wow, 1982. So you're talking about in the 80s. We're in the 80s going over there to Japan, into a world that you know nothing about at the time.
And everybody too, people around me, they didn't know anything about sumo. I didn't know anything about sumo.
It was always just like a joke. It's like, if we got bigger, you're like, oh, you look like you're a sumo wrestler. Yeah. And we're like, okay, we don't want to be that. But now,
it is.
Exactly.
Now it is. Yeah, but so when I left, and then the thing that inspired me and kept me going was when I left that day, man, and my mom just grabbed my shirt and said, don't go, man. And that's the first and the last word my mom told me. So I used that one scene, I pictured it as we speak now, to encourage me. Everything I do, and every day I wake up, I see her crying and pulling my shirt and telling me not to go. Yeah. So an 18-year-old kid, like over there, don't know how to react. All I told myself, and don't ever cry in front of mom and dad. Be strong. Make like, oh, Kanye, no worry. And then I was joking around because I was a clown. They knew me. So I was joking. Not worry, mom. I'm going to get him. Don't worry. And then walk into the plane, bro.
Exactly.
Still remember that flight. All I knew is that when I got in there, I dropped to my head dropped down to my knees. And by the time I got up, I was in Tokyo. Yeah. I was like, I told myself, what the hell did I just do? What the hell? And so
that's a game changer, yet a life changing moment for you, because you're going in there not knowing what's going to happen.
Well, it's a different culture. I was one of those guys that just threw myself in a bucket of water and I didn't know how to swim yet. And then not knowing the language, not knowing the culture, and then even sumo itself, the majority of the Japanese can't handle it. Yeah. I don't even call it a sport. It's a culture. You got to leave the damn thing.
Oh, you have to live. It's like, it's a lifestyle.
Commitment, like 100%. When I talk about that, people turn their head. Yeah, you can't. I never went to anybody's funerals. Yeah. By the time I got to mom, she was dead on the bed. Yeah. On bed already. And that's the kind of commitment we have to do. I'm glad that my family could understand. Every time I talk about, I'll be like tearing shit. I got to go see my niece. I got to go see my nephew. You can come back. They're going to come back.
Exactly.
So that's the kind of stuff that you kind of fight more than anything else. The battle is always keeps you going, because you couldn't make it, but if you just do good for yourself, you kind of push yourself forward every day to overcome that. Oh, you had to find a way to overcome all this stuff. Yeah.
Well, you being your 18-year-old kid, culture shock sets in. But you're coming. What part of Hawaii? First of all, represent your Hawaii part.
I'm the west side.
You coming from the west side of Hawaii?
The west side where everybody think you're a criminal. They call us. They tell us, hey, you come on, you're a good athlete, and you know how to rip off good. You know how to jump cars and stuff, and you know how to fight. And the other thing you're good at is making babies when they graduate.
Well, is that something that went to your decision to say, okay, look, we're in the 80s in Hawaii on the west side. Maybe let me try to get away from this, Hawaii lifestyle to see what this Japan lifestyle was about. Was that had something to do with your decision?
Well, the biggest decision is because I'm a younger one, so I saw everybody go to college and stuff. Brother, who's 2 years older than me, he went to Washington State University. Yeah. I had a sister, they went to Oregon. But when they went on scholarships. Yeah. But then they called full scholarship, but they still had to pay for where they stayed and certain things. So I saw that. I see the struggle with mom and dad, financially trying to do that.
Absolutely.
When my team came, when I met Takamiyama, and I told him, bro, as long as I don't pay nothing, I'm good. I'm just gonna walk away, even though I don't know. I just going.
So that was the hook for you. As long as I don't got to pay for nothing and my family don't got to burden themselves, I'm down to do this.
I went and burned all my college papers and stuff because I wasn't thinking of even playing any sports anymore. I was interested in law.
Yeah.
I wanted to study law in college.
Yeah.
So that was my kind of goal. But when I went and met that, came back, burned all the papers, that's it. I'm gone.
So you was already all the football scholarships and everything was done. You were like, look, I'm gonna go to Japan and try to do what it do over there.
Yeah.
You got to tell us about the first day you stepped on Japanese soil. How was that for you? Because the culture shock already is huge. But for some kid, an 18-year-old kid, how does that? You don't know what's gonna happen. How does that hit you?
Well, my story is so unique that when I went there, I had no money.
Wow.
So I didn't know, and I went there, nobody, right? So I walk out of the airplane. Those days in Japan, 40 years ago, you had to pay airport tax.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You had to pay like 2,000 yen to get out of the airport. You buy a ticket.
Just on top of you trying to get out of there.
And I never had bags, too. I only had a shoulder bag.
Wait, so you left Hawaii with a shoulder bag?
I left a shoulder bag. All I had in my shoulder bag was my Bible, my album with my pictures of my family and my friends. I had a pair of shoes, slacks, and a lotion. I thought I was going to wear that when I got on the plane. But my mom pulled my shirt. She was pulling out my shirt, the shirt she bought me that morning in Waipahu, the Samoan store, say Samoa. And she made me an I'Lava when I'Whaikanga. So if you see my first pictures when I was wearing I'Lava slippers and a shirt that says Samoa.
So you look like you came straight from Samoa when you came to Japan.
Looked like I came from Samoa, but I came from more. I had a shoulder bag, and that's all I had.
So you were like a runaway at this point. You're like, who's this runaway Samoan kid in Japan?
So I had no money. So when walking in the airport to get, they're like, man, can I get out? So all these local people from Hawaii, hey, uncle, can you help me or what?
Yeah.
What you need, boy? What you here for? I'm going to try sumo. Oh, yeah, you're going to try sumo. How do you get out of here?
Yeah.
He said, oh, you have to pay 2,000 yen. Oh, uncle, bro, I don't even
you didn't even have that.
My money. Yeah. So, okay, no worry, we pay. So they pay. So I come out of the airport. Nobody's there for wait for me. Nobody's at the airport in Narita.
Yeah.
I go, wow, how the hell you get out of here? So I look around.
And the Narita airport's a huge airport. I've been there.
So they tell me, oh, you got to catch that bus,
the
limousine bus to go into Tokyo. So, oh, yeah. So I try to jump on the bus. They say, you got to pay 2,000 yen. So
everything costs.
Everything costs. So I didn't know that thing cost. So I over there asking all the local people who are on the plane with me, hey, can you guys pay for my ticket or what? If we get on.
Oh, because they came from Hawaii with you on that flight. Yeah,
they're on the flight. And people I don't know, even till this day, I wish I could. I know who I was talking to. I just got on the plane and I went to Tokyo. That's how my whole career started with nothing. I mean, when you talk about nothing, I mean nothing.
I was going to say, when you say nothing, you mean nothing.
I mean nothing. Just
because you were asking everybody for 3,000 yen for the limousine bus that's going down. But you being over there, 18 years old, what's the next step?
Scary, man.
I mean, it has to be scary because I'm just talking about kids being alone in their hometowns. You're alone in a whole nother country. And you don't know what the language barrier has to be. You know no Japanese whatsoever.
No Japanese at all.
Just pidgin. That's it.
Just pidgin English.
Exactly.
So it's funny. So I got there. I finally got my place, got to the stable. And I walk in and I come down in the building. All these medias are waiting for me to walk in. So I'm, from the very beginning, I'm like, my brain is like, what the hell I'm doing here? I'm like,
well, you're trying to compute, or you're trying to take all this in first of all.
Well, you're 18 years old. Now, and you're trying to figure out what the hell I should be doing.
Yeah.
But I just kind of went with the flow and just listened. And then Jesse came, and then Jesse helped me to this. We had a media conference. We had a press conference and talking why I want to join all that. So I don't even remember what I said.
But so you're thrown right into the media circus
right away. When the day I got there.
So you have to adapt and try to adjust really quick.
Everything, that was new to me, and the sport itself, the language is new to me. And then again, from Japanese language and Japanese sumo culture and Japanese culture is two different cultures.
Yeah,
exactly. The Japanese can't even handle the Japanese, the sumo culture. So I thought I was learning Japanese culture when I was part of sumo, but when I spoke some of the languages that I learned in sumo,
the Japanese, was different.
There's a different dialect and the way we carry ourselves in sumo.
Wow. And
because the way we dress, the way we walk, we have to be a certain way all the time, every time, And
it's like a regimen. Like I was watching some of the videos. It's like a regimen to be a sumo wrestler. And it's a whole, you said, it's a whole culture.
It's a representation of something that you have to always have in the back of your head. Like I always explain this, the hardest thing about this whole thing is you can work so hard and you just make one little mistake. You go to a bar, you get into a fight, fight, and you out.
Because so you're basically seen under a microscope even before you start getting it up in the rankings.
Yes.
So everything like today, social media is everybody's resume.
Yep.
They were on you as soon as you got off that plane. So
Yep.
anything you did from there on out was going to affect you, whether you be negative or positive, in this sumo culture.
Yes.
So you couldn't do nothing. And coming from Hawaii, from the West Side, that's a whole nother thing.
But like I said, the good thing about it, I didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
So I was just learning.
Yeah.
And I was just accepting, trying to take everything in and learn, be the best in everything I do. Because when I came in my first 6 months, I was a Mr. Go clean up everything, you know, and that's how it is.
And that's how you go up from the ranks.
You go up the ranks. So for the first 6 months, I was cleaning freaking toilets, 4 toilets, 3:30 in the morning, cleaning stairs, all on your knees. You cannot use mops.
And that's part of your training.
That's my training. Yeah. So I do all that for like 6 months. Then I go to sumo school and stuff. And then, and even just that too, I made sure I was the best in cleaning.
Yeah.
And like my boss's mom, Okami-san, they call her. She's the wife, and she looks over us when the boss is not around. She always tell me, man, you one of the kids. I never saw a kid who's so big it go under the freaking sinks, make sure everything.
You were maneuvering.
Clean. Yeah. And I did everything because that's the way I was raised.
Yeah.
It's not like I learned how to clean.
We brought that from home real quick.
Yeah, that's all from home. And
trying
to, and everything I did, no more half-ass stuff.
Yeah.
Everything's 100%. So as I went on, and the only way I could get out of those trenches is just to be good and you move your rank up. So I'm glad because they motivated me. Some of these guys treated me like shit, you know. But the good thing about it, I always can kill a guy in practice, and that's
where you get them back.
Yeah, exactly. It's 100%, and it's good good advice for anybody that's in sport or even studies. You have somebody who want to pick on you, and if they have the authority over you, the only way to beat them down is beat them down.
Yeah.
Legally.
Yeah, at the game.
Yeah,
at the game. Yeah.
So I always told myself, you can pick on me Monday through Friday, but Saturday, Sunday is my day.
Yeah, exactly. Once we get in that.
So slowly, all these guys used to pick on me, bro. I used to one by one.
Yeah.
Always target them, bro, in practice. And I used to be so fired up. Practice used to 5:30. I used to be up at 3:30 in the morning. Every morning,
to go.
Ready to training and lifting weights, freaking warmed up. Everybody walked in. I'm like, all sweaty, my eyes are all red.
And not even starting the practice, just like, now we're ready to go.
Yeah. And then all my guys, my senior guys, after retirement, they said, man, you freaking guy, you look like a freaking Red Bull. Your eyes we're so scared of you after 6 months.
Yeah.
I thought, you guys had to be scared because you guys were treating me like shit. And the only way I could get back to you guys is beat the shit out of you guys. Some guys, I put them in the hospital, like true sumo,
Yeah.
And that's where the West Side come in. I do my dirty tricks, bro. I put this guy down. I put my elbow right in his freaking chest to stop his breathing and everything.
Wow.
Take him to the hospital, almost die, bro, in practice.
And you was looking for that opportunity where you could use the West Side. Like, this is it.
That's it.
Yeah.
But everything, like my boss said, once you come in the practice area, everybody's the same.
Yeah.
There's no seniority and shit.
Yeah, everyone's on the same level.
So that's why I knew where I could prove myself and better my lifestyle in Japan, especially in a stable.
Yeah.
Because everything is by rank.
And when you're in the stable, right, and you come in, do you know about sumo at this point? I mean, or are you just going off of what you're seeing?
Everything is from what I see. I'm just learning day by day. And then slowly, I just, my physique, and I was already strong. I was actually benching 550 pounds in high school.
Yeah.
I was squatting over 600. I was a power lifter. I love weightlifting,
So you already have those aspects.
Yeah, I was already strong.
And it was already playing football.
Yeah, so the technique that I was using is more like my arms, just trusting and just bulldozing. My technique that boss was trying to teach me.
And more like an old lineman to use that thrusting.
The hand. Because he told me, you go to the belt, this guy's been doing sumo since they're 3 years old. And once you go to the belt, there's 84 different techniques in sumo that they can throw your ass. And those techniques are crazy, They can throw your ass. They can actually break your elbow in a second, when they have to. So that's the part that I just learned, and the technique, I work hard on it, and I take advantage of my body and my power, and that's what took me 8 tournaments. I steered the record right here in Japan.
Did a lot of it have to do with the coaching that you were getting at that time?
Everything is about the coaching.
A little everything.
It's about the coaching, because if I tried to do the same thing as everybody else, I wouldn't get there. Like I said, the experience, they've been doing it since Little League.
Man.
And
they were raised into this. Yeah.
And the biggest difference is I had strength. I was fucking strong.
Yeah.
Can I swear on this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I was strong. I was like a bulldozer. And even till today, the record holds 8 tournaments. Nobody ever went 8 tournaments straight up to the top rank.
Wow.
Steered the record today. The other record I'm proud of is being a junior champion with 14 tournaments. That's only 2 years and 2 months.
So you was coming up quick.
I went, not coming up, I still hold the records for being up there quick, for starting from the very bottom.
Wow.
So stuff like that, and that's the motivation. I thought my motivation was everything I knew who I wanted to do things for. My parents was everything. I pictured in my head, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to practice, you know, I just everybody was a rival to me.
Yeah.
All the guys in the
everybody was competition at that point.
Competition. Nobody was a friend to me. It's perfect because, like I said, I didn't speak no language. I didn't know nothing. Knowing nothing is the best thing to know.
Because if you know, it might hinder what you're trying to do through your training.
Well, it distracts your emotions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And this is something that everybody has to learn. Emotions. If you just 1% emotion about something when you're a professional, you won't be all there. I don't care who you are. 1% is big for anybody.
Man, that's big right there, especially for the people watching right now.
Well, you're going against guys with 100%.
Yeah.
You cannot come with 99.
No.
That 1% kills
going to put you on your ass.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, the biggest thing about me getting away from sumo and learning about so much is learning how to get my distractions away. So being very bold and learning how to get all that stuff away when my tournaments come up and stay focused. Like, it's funny, we'll do I don't even remember, like, when they eat, you can't even taste the food. That's how focused I was in all my tournaments. Like,
but even back in the day, like you saw about like training, they were encouraging you to get bigger. Yeah. So it's not like you was not trying to like eat keto. So you had to eat to maintain what they were doing there. Tell us about that.
Well, the meals we have a day, we have 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
And then I continue lifting weights at something that a lot of them didn't do.
Yeah.
And was like,
some of them were just taking the weight on, but not making them into muscle like you were doing.
So like they were like surprised, what is that lifting weights? You know, because we're a tradition, right?
Yeah.
Everything is just your body weight and stretching and hitting and stuff like that. So I started lifting weights and stuff, and as I got better and using the sumo technique I had, I could get bigger and I could focus more on everything on my sumo than anything else. Because once you get into a sumo certain rank, you don't have to do all the extra work. Now you have guys that's apprentice, or we call it skibitos, who do everything for you now. They clean your room, they do all that. So you walk around with servants, like, you know. Yeah.
So I heard in Japan they have like the servants that serve you and make sure that you're taken care of. Yeah. So you were there at that time where it was coming in.
Yeah. Well, I the one that after 8 tournaments, only less than a year and a half, I had guys already doing that for me. And it's unreal, but you stick your feet out, they wipe your feet.
That's another culture shock right there. You're like, hold up.
It was hard to accept because you're not used to do that.
Yeah. Because what I've been reading, sumo wrestlers were treated like royalty. Like you guys were like the king of the kings. And when you guys were a good sumo wrestler like yourself, you kind of like had kind of the pick of the crop of everything you wanted to do. How did that be in transitioning from, because again, we'll go back to, you're a foreign sumo wrestler at this point.
Exactly, yeah.
And you had to have been frowned upon. There's people that's been there, that's been raised in that. How did you transition that? People saying, okay, he's a foreign sumo wrestler. Like that whole thing had to be a whole thing in its own right because you're battling these people that don't want you to be in this realm.
Well, he was huge because the media, even if you go back and look, if you Google it, there's stories where they had the prime minister come in. Because there's one time in my career that I think there was enough points or enough wins to become a grand champion. Yeah. But they stopped me from it. So there was a phone call that New York Times called my sumos that when I had 2 boys from Hawaii who was in the stable. Yeah. When they called their interview, and they acted that they were me. And,
wow.
And they told him, of course we think he's supposed to be a grand champion. Look at the numbers. Yeah. You guys just made a guy grand champion. He never even win 1 tournament. Konishki, that's his third Emperor's Cup. You guys didn't give it. So, and then he said, then New York, and went right the story is that Japan is being very racist about this sumo guy.
And that's what I wanted to, because we always talk about the Konishki and how you were going up the ranks. You were like the 2nd highest ranked. Ozeki. Yeah. But then to get to the Yokozuna, you already had, when I was looking at the matches and everything, you already had the prerequisites to be a Yokozuna.
So when that happened for me, and it all kind of crashed down, they were like pointing fingers at me. I had to play smart. Like I said, the distraction, you can't let that take you away from your focus, which is the sumo. And it kind of made the country like think again. Yeah. So the perfect thing about the whole thing, when that happened, Chad, Akebono, and Musashi Maru was up right behind me coming up. And those guys was like starting to kick ass and stuff, you know? And I was training the boys, and these guys was up. So what I did is actually push those guys to tell, now you guys don't have an excuse if the next local boy come and have numbers. You guys going to have to have.
So you kind of use yourself as an example to the other boys.
It's the only way I could use myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because again, the record shows there's a guy that they put as a grand champion, never won the tournament even once.
Wow.
The same age as me. And I beat him up to the rank before he did. But I didn't. During my career, I never let that bother me because I have to do my job. Just do your job and shut up and do your job.
See, and I was going to ask that. Like, does that hinder you? Like, I'm even talking about today. We're talking about years later. Like, you could have had that Yokozuna title. I mean, that has to just eat at you every now and again.
Well, at the beginning, because when I was on it, like meaning that when you was in that zone, I couldn't see anything but Yokozuna.
Yeah.
In my whole.
Well, because that was the goal at that point.
Yeah.
That was the goal.
And the way I was winning, I was actually moving towards exactly.
Yeah.
Like everything turned white. When I sleep, all I see is sumo.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do nothing else but to focus on sumo. But once that happened, boom, that distraction pushed me to a point where I couldn't focus as much as I could.
Yeah.
So I can see it chopping away on me. And it's funny thing, the human being body, when your mind is taken away, your body can feel it.
Yeah.
Because I was already injured.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel shit when I was so in my zone.
Yeah.
I had bad knees, my shoulders.
Because you're in your zone already.
Fingers.
But then you start feeling that stuff.
Once you lose it, and then you can feel that distraction. I talk about that 1%. It wasn't 1% anymore. It was like 20%, 30% now. And your body starts cracking down on your body, and you tell, holy shit. The only thing I was trying to fight to survive.
Yeah.
Survive the rest of my career. Because I didn't want to walk out like freaking lose and drop right to the bottom.
Yeah.
I told myself, as long as I can fight and stay within the top level, I will fight as long as I can. So
you were still fighting after all that.
I was still fighting.
Yeah.
I was still fighting, and they were trying to force me to quit. Even after when I lost the champion title, I held it for over 7 years. So when I lost it, they tried to force me. No. And that's the other thing I think kind of break the ice. Where just because I was a champion doesn't mean I'm going to have to retire right away.
Yeah.
So I kind of fought the last 3-4 years of just hanging in there, just do the best I can.
Yeah.
The injuries caught up with me, and I think the time when I could feel already. My body was. That's it. I gotta make the decision to go, or else I might kill myself. My body my body was hurting. I was freaking drinking so much painkillers, like crazy.
Well, when you're in the middle of that, what's your peak weight at that point? Because I've been reading stuff that you were up like
at 6. The end of my career, I was over 6 already.
Yeah,
and that's when I was boss up already. Yeah. I couldn't do railing. I was just trying to hang on. I just was trying to hang on as long as I can on the 1996, I think.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell myself, because I wanted to go around one more time Japan, just to be in the front of my fans, the guys that supported me.
Because at that point you have a huge following. Yeah, it's almost cult star like.
It's funny, like it didn't matter if I won or lost. The crowds was yelling,
and they were there to see you.
Yeah, like they were yelling and screaming and stuff like so. I think I owe that much to all the sumo fans, even my fan clubs all over Japan. I had big fan clubs all over Japan wherever I went. So I wanted to like quietly make sure I went to all those cities before I quit or retired. In was the last tournament is June. It's a November tournament, which is just over. So that was the goal. And then we came. I'm glad I did, because my body was actually beat up so much, man.
What was your peak weight when you were at your top of your game?
I think my peak weight, the best weight that I could fight at really good was 530.
Yeah.
That's when I was like moving and shit.
Yeah, and we're talking about, because I done seen a whole hour of video of you of all your highlights. I was watching it for the past week, and I'm just like, to see you doing that at around 530 is like, that's like, you look at gentlemen today playing football, 400 is too much for them. But when you're in a sport like you, it's one-on-one, and it's just like going at it. I was like, you're at your peak at around 400.
Yep.
And we're saying that you got up to 600, where, okay, now sumo wrestling is starting to be done competitively.
Yeah.
When do you start to say, okay, I got to start getting right for the rest of my life? Because now I'm up there.
Right after the last year of my career, I told myself I have to go.
Yeah. What was the sign to tell you, hey, it's time?
Well, I was like getting sick.
Yeah.
And I almost actually lost so much blood right before my last tournament. People didn't know that, but in a hotel when I was on tour, I lost so much blood in the hospital. So I was stuck in the hotel. I call out my friend to come pick me. Everybody laughs at me because I'm always clowning around, right? Yeah. So I call him, you gotta come get me and go. And he's like, stop laughing. It's not clowning. You're always clowning around. They walk in, there's blood all over the freaking hotel room. I thought, we have to sneak out of here, because if the media finds out, all shit's gonna break loose. So I got 2 of my friends to come in. I was big too, and these guys are regular people. I thought, just grab my kimono, wrap myself, and then I'll fight myself. I'll fight to get up. I was actually there for like 7 hours on my own.
Wow.
Out, because I was and I didn't sleep because I tried to get to the bathroom. I was throwing water at me.
But was that something that you kind of like built up over the years?
Oh yeah.
Like at that point, it's
I felt coming because I was taking like cortisone shots. I was drinking freaking like painkillers.
And it
like
took its toll.
Week.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was killing me. I already felt it, but I was trying to hang in as much as I can. And that when that was a sign came, I thought, bro, it's better time for go, man. You did enough, you know. So right after that, right after my retirement, I started working on my weight and stuff.
Yeah.
And stuff. So
and tell us about that, because people to this day see pictures of you. There's like iconic pictures of you, you know, standing over other sumo wrestlers where you were a big dude.
Yep.
But now to kind of bring it back to say, okay, I can still, because you're obviously still active in the sumo world.
Yeah.
But now you want to go there as an ambassador for the sumo wrestling. But how did you get your weight down to say, okay, I can go travel all this time to do that?
Well, I was still big. The thing is funny, like I said, when after retirement, I was still big when I was doing all these other shows or documentaries.
Yeah.
I was still like 600 for like a year or 2 years. So, and then I started pulling down. I pulled down real fast.
Yeah.
Then I go up. I was going back and forth. And then I think it was fifth year after retirement, I told man, my wife told me, man, you better go do that surgery.
Yeah.
Because, you know, with the schedule you have, I'm not even like, even somebody that big, I don't know anybody that big.
No, you was doing
travel,
it.
go to Africa, and come back. I'm in Turkey. They come back. I'm in Australia.
Yeah.
And that's when I came with the album KMS.
Yes.
And then when I was doing KMS, I was big. And you know the travels I was doing. I was like from Japan to Hawaii, Hawaii to like California to Miami, New York, and then come Vegas, back to New York.
Wow.
Then go to Australia. I was like.
And traveling with that weight is, man.
And that's what I mean. So the thing is, I could. So that was one of the problems.
Yeah.
If I could move with the weight no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that kept me away from trying as much as I should have.
Yeah.
You know, because I could handle the weight. And then I just came to a point, my wife told me, man, you got to take off. So I took a whole year off from work. I mean, which is so hard for me.
Exactly.
Stayed the whole off. I stayed in Hawaii, in my house in Hawaii, and started working with doctors and talked to them and for a whole year and did the surgery, and that's where I am today and stuff. You know, so I'm glad I did it. But you know, it's like I said, being a big person is hard. I understand. I advise a lot of big guys that I come around me, bro. You gotta do them, especially when you're younger.
Yeah. I
had no choice. I had to wait till my whole career was done. You know, so. But even that, I did it when it was kind of too late. I was 40-something already. You know.
Well, because you're in a sport that encourages being big. But like just like football players, when they stop playing football, they don't know what to do. They're like, okay, wait, how do I keep the weight off? You know, they're not practicing every day. They're not working out every day, how you guys were. So, of course, being a sumo wrestler, that had to take its toll to say, okay, now because it takes us up to the music part.
Yeah.
You try to sneak that music thing in there, but tell us about the music thing, because during your career, you were still into the music.
Well, the music was always something that I did during my career.
Yeah.
Every time they get me singing at parties and stuff. So
and that's just something in our Polynesian culture alone.
It's natural. And I sing in all these Japanese karaoke for all these Japanese people at the parties that I get invited to and stuff. So right after my career, when we talked about music, my friends go, "Wow, did you do the rap stuff?" So I talked to like Vince them. You know? And that's why OMB is actually one of the producers of some of the music I have on there.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace to Danny DeVoe, man. OMB.
Man. I love those guys. But then that's where it started. Well, and I told myself, "Sorry, bro, not me, Uli, bro." They tell me, just do one rap one first.
Yeah.
I wasn't, you know, like it's doable, but it's not like, you know, I want to. But no, you gotta do them so you can come in.
Yeah.
So we did it. I did the KMS stuff, and you know, got lucky enough to be on MTV, Entertainment Tonight, and all that stuff. I got to sing at what's it called, the New York morning show. One
of the morning shows you was on there. Okay, was it Kelly and
yeah, that one. The old school one.
With Regis, Kelly and Regis.
Regis. I sang, I rapped on that too. I did Jay Leno and stuff like that.
Come on, man. Tell them the resume, Konishki.
No, but I was doing, but I didn't know about this because I live in Japan. To me, it's just like another appearance and stuff like that. So when I went to do the promotions in Miami and stuff like that, bro, I wasn't used to Japanese culture and American culture, so different. Like wherever you go, it's like everybody's like standing there like if you're fusu, right?
Oh yeah,
like nobody's nice, and I'm this like big Samoan boy from white.
You're the intimidating figure that's walking through the room.
But I'm smiling, you know. But, what's up, brother? Like, everybody's just a hardcore
standoffish,
So I walk in there, what's up, brother?
Yeah.
and then we go all this club, and nobody's like talks nice. Everybody's like so fusuka. And I can't handle this shit. I've been living in Japan the past 30-something years. I don't have this when I go. Right after we did that, I go, bro, I ain't going to do that anymore. I went back to my Hawaiian music. I go sing all my Hawaiian music in Japan.
But it goes back to you telling about OMB from Booyah Tribe. Booyah Tribe, yourself, in Japan was huge. Yeah, like we're talking about with Booyah Tribe in the music game and you in the sumo game, but just us as kids to see someone that's of Samoan descent, of Polynesian descent, out there in Japan doing it, that was like a role model for all of us, growing up. So to see you guys when I was so like glued when Booyah Tribe had their whole Japan run, and then to somebody to say. Somebody whispered, "Hey, Konishki, he's Samoan." I'm like, "Wait, what?" It's like, "Well, he's Polynesian." Yeah. So when you hear that as a kid growing up, you kind of say, "Man, we can do things in places like Japan, in places that are outside of what your normal Hawaii, the Bay Area."
Yeah.
How did that take? I mean, when did you start to realize that? Okay, I'm actually doing something not just for me and my family, but for my culture.
Well, before I came there was actually
that's right
Polynesians that made it. Alpha and Sika were big over there. And not only that, one of the best home run king batters is Tony Soleta.
Yes.
Tony Soleta played 2 years. He was a home run king 2 years in a row for a team called Nippon Ham.
Man.
So
history right there.
Yeah. So when I came, they were already not as big, but it got bigger as I stayed there. People, I kept on telling, I'm a Hawaii-born Samoan.
Yeah.
I always correct them, Hawaii-born Samoan.
Yeah, tell them, Konishki, because there's a big difference.
Yeah, there's a big difference. So as it goes on, and then Disney opens up in Japan.
Yeah.
And then the whole Polynesian show is all Samoan guys.
Yeah.
With some people that used to be for Alapake Malia and stuff like that, those groups.
Yeah.
The kids, I think, were part of it. So there were like so much Polynesian start coming in.
Yeah.
And, the Hawaiian scene is huge right now. But that's when you started seeing a lot of Polynesians coming. And then after that, then Pride begins. And you have Sefo, you have Hunt coming in.
Mark Hunt.
Mighty Mo, and all these guys coming in. So
because we started to see a lot of Polynesians thrive out there.
So now they know what Samoan is.
Yes.
They knew what Hawaiian was because the relationship between Japan and Hawaii. But Samoan, then Musashi Maru is Samoan too. Samoan Tongan. So they started knowing the difference, and stuff like that.
And to hold that, I mean, with now, because, everyone looks at the culture now because now we're looking back on it. Like when I talked to Fij and I talked to other guests, it was trying to get you guys' story. But going into being a sumo wrestler, was that something that said, okay, not only am I going to put on for my family and my mom, I want to kind of do this as a thing for the culture to show them that you could be a Samoan kid from Hawaii and still kind of do something and step outside of your comfort zone.
Well, anything you do, when I stepped out, when I stepped on a plane to go, I already knew what I was representing.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be bigger than what I am, what Fiji is, and what anybody that walked into this studio.
Absolutely.
Bigger than, what we come from would never be smaller than what we do. What we do is a little piece of what the future holds for us, and what all our grandpas and fathers who passed, Peter Maivia and all those guys. You got the Rock's grandfather, all these guys that did shows, but wasn't as recognized as today.
Yeah. So
you got to credit what's with before us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, every place I go, I feel like I represent something.
Yeah.
That's what's very important to me. Wherever I go, whenever I do, whatever I say, I'm saying the right thing because I represent something bigger than I am.
Absolutely.
Which is my culture, my family, and the state of Hawaii that I come from. So I take that seriously in my life. So, and that's why I always my friends tell me, bro, I hear a lot of trouble with guys in Japan with some of the sumo guys. I hear that, bro. I love my life.
Yeah.
And I take pride in who I am.
Yeah.
Because everything I represent is worth something to represent. That's why I have to be the best citizen, the best man in anything I do. I want to do shit.
Yeah.
You can try me.
How hard was that?
That is very hard.
Well, especially, I won't say it in Polynesians alone, to keep your nose clean the way you did throughout your career. And you being under a microscope. I mean, us Polynesians that today get away with stuff, we're like, how the hell did Konishki get away with that? Because once you were in it, you were in it.
Man.
Yeah.
I stayed away from it and be smart with everything I do. And especially, I think the sumo culture has taught me that. because they don't give you any second chances, you know. And then when I see a lot of like the Western sport, when guys like get in trouble for like even like fighting dogs and killing dogs, stuff like that, you get kicked out right away. You never come back. And then you're like girlfriend fighting and stuff like that. That would never happen. You get kicked out. I always tell people, no matter if you're Michael Jordan, LeBron James, you do something stupid in public, you're out. They don't care. Because sumo, they don't look at us as a product. We're not a product to anything.
Exactly.
We're just part of the culture that we represent, and you're nothing more. So that's why it's very important. Don't lose everything that you work for. And that's why I'm the way I am, because I ain't gonna lose all this hard work I did. 40
you've been
years,
doing it,
man.
40 years.
40 years I've been doing. I ain't gonna do anything stupid to lose all. Even though I like sometimes, you get cracky. I'm glad that I have people to protect me around me, especially my wife and people that work around me. They know when some a-hole is acting stupid, and when they look at my eyes, and I'm like,
you got to make a decision at that point. Like,
somebody's always stepping in, they're always like stepping to kind of change the conversation. But that's how I am now. Especially getting older, I think getting more stubborn, right? So I try to even think about it. Even in my business, it takes me 5 minutes to close a deal. I think, tell me what you want, when you want, how much you got. Okay, I ain't doing it. Okay.
Simpler, It's either simple. It's a simple answer. Either or.
I don't need 10 pieces of paper to tell me what I should be doing. One piece of paper is good. And I'm glad I'm at where I am today, because I'm more flexible with what I do.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I left the Sumo Association, so I could do the things I do and spend time with my mom and my dad.
When you're in the Sumo Association, you kind of still got to be committed to that life.
Committed that life.
Yeah. When did you decide not to be a part of the Sumo Association anymore?
Towards the end of my career, I knew I was going to stay. I was worried about my mom.
Yeah.
During my career, I couldn't. The longest I can be home is like 2-3 days a year.
Yeah.
And that's like, get off the plane, say hi to mom,
and back on
one day, and say hi to my friends one day, and then I'm gone again. And I miss my family, so I told myself, ain't nothing gonna hold me back. So I started my own company. But I said, getting out, anytime I want to go home, I can go home to see mom.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time. I go 5, 6 times a year to home. Until my dad passed away, I made sure I spent the whole December and February, up to February, I spent with my dad.
Yeah.
Stayed in my house. I cook for him every single day. And then June, because it's birthday and Father's Day, I made sure the past 4 or 5 years of his life, I was there for him. And then I took him to Japan too.
Yeah.
So I was committed to doing everything on my own, even though, once you start owning anything on your own, that's extra work, because what you do is what you get.
Yeah, absolutely.
No more fooling around now. No. It's just serious stuff. No, it's not like you work for somebody that will give you a pay just for being there.
Well, because you come from sumo, which it's one-on-one. Yeah. And it's kind of it's not a team sport, but you have a team of people around you to kind of keep you on your P's and Q's for what you're doing. Yeah. Now that you're being an ambassador of sumo, like I just seen you was on this tour now, what's different because now between the sumo game now and then that you're kind of just saying, okay, I got to put my foot or stamp into this thing to make it what it used to be?
Well, when the pandemic came along, I was like looking into the internet.
Yeah.
And I was like researching how much of sumo is out there.
Yeah.
So when I started researching, I was like, holy shit, they got amateur sumo all over here in the US. And they do it just by loving it, you know, and they're just fans of sumo.
Just for the love of the sport.
Then I go Europe, Europe is even big. Yeah. They have a war going on, and they got Ukraine and Russians, they in a sumo tournament.
Wow.
Like I was like, wow, this is crazy. Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of work with trying to invest my time into focusing how can I make it my mission to actually get out there with the sumo, with like this press tour.
Yeah.
The mission to actually teach them the real sumo. They don't have to do it if they don't want, but I'm giving them access to what's the real deal. Because everything they see now, it's everything that they think it is.
It's all they're learning YouTube videos. You got actually telling them what it is.
So there's guys that is learning from YouTube and they're trying to teach other people.
Yeah.
Which is all cool. I love that because they already put their feet in and trying to love sumo.
But you done lived it.
Yeah. So and the thing is, I bring the experience to it. You know, like this tour, I have like 100 years of experience, guys that are about ex-sumo tories. And we did this show for 15 shows on the West Coast, and it turned out really well. And then the other thing I've been doing, I just started a master class on sumo.
Nice.
And then I just did it like three months ago. You actually download the whole class, and you can actually learn depth into it. And I talk about my stories and how I would approach certain things in my career and stuff. So the thing is, right now I'm still working on a few projects where maybe in the future we can do our own like UFC kind of style.
Do you see it going towards that way? Because like UFC, everyone thought was going to be a fad. Now it's one of the biggest sports in the nation. Do you see sumo taking a step towards that realm?
I can see it going that way if it's done right.
If it's done right. Keywords.
And then the difference is we have to keep the culture within to make it unique.
Yeah.
If we try to make it like UFC or pro wrestling on it, it won't change anything because you have guys yelling, they're cussing out.
Because you got the people that know the culture.
That
say if you get anything outside the culture, it's not what it is.
So the funny thing, when I did this, we just finished this tour, but what I noticed is people, they listen and they were like, the best comment I have every single show, they walk up, thank you for educating us about sumo. This is a very unique sport. And it's funny because it's so gentle. At the same time, it's so rough. But yes, they have so much respect.
Yes.
And that's something that you don't see in our sports today. Everything is about, bro, I'm going to take you down and all that. But the thing I tell them, well, this is the only contact sport or MMA. MMA is yesterday. Sumo's been here 2,000 years.
Absolutely.
And sumo is MMA. If you guys don't know, sumo is a mixture of karate, judo, aikido, wrestling.
Disciplines.
And it's all the different arts. But just that you see them in sumo, people think it's just two big guys. When I explain there's 84 techniques, we don't have a weight class. You know why? Because the big guys cannot use it. It's the smaller guys who take advantage. They don't want that broke out fingers. They don't want to break your elbows. They don't want to kick out ankles because they didn't even know we kick.
Because they had to go into their angle. Exactly.
Yeah, so that's the thing I'm trying to bring to, if we can bring it that way. And then the thing is, sumo, bro, this is the only sport where we freaking kick ass. We beat the shit out of our opponents and we got to bow and say, thank you for kicking my ass.
Right after you're done.
Yeah, like really calm and like you can't show any emotions. Tell me a sport that can do that.
No, that's it right
Everybody's
there.
so fired up. They're like, you know, so I think that calmness, that, what do you call it, the strength from within that people see, which is something very unique. And I think something that the Western world would kind of learn from. Because I was surprised, I think, because when I did my show, it's like 3 blocks, A, B, C blocks. So A block is just teaching them why our bodies break into this body weight or our body forms. You know, they call it lady hips. It's so soft, right? Or flexible. And that's a lot of work already. The exercise, then we go to B block is about different techniques, why I break my fingers, why I extend my elbow. And a lot of linemen can learn from this. In fact, we had just said, 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Pro Bowler for Super Bowl winner. Jesse was there.
Shout out Jesse, man.
I invited him over and stuff. We talked to each other so much during his career and my career, and we always like missing each other. So finally, I got him to come. Come, I bring you, be my guest at the show and stuff. So it's a very unique sport, and the lifestyle is something that what we do on the ring is one thing, but what we carry off, the respect, the way we carry ourselves in society is the most important part of our careers. And
is that something that you loved about that culture part of it?
I love that so much because it shows the culture within us. You know, and you only can get people respecting you if you respect them. You know, it's not like, it's hard to say because the Bible says we turn the other cheek, right? And which is very hard for a lot of people to do, which I can understand that part too. You know, we all come from that angle and try to be
from that upbringing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But now that we get into the social media part of this whole thing. With social media, like you start to see videos of you resurface. You start to see, sumo wrestling videos, up to music and everything. How have you used social media towards your gain as far as, getting your brand more out there?
To be honest with you, I don't even care. I don't even try to, like, people think about likes. I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't even care. The only reason why I do it, I want my family, my friends, people that follow know that I'm alive and I'm doing stuff. That's all it is.
Come on, tell them, Konishki.
I don't even like, people tell me, you should pay somebody for doing this. Why should I pay somebody having me? People don't know. All my media stuff, I do myself. And you can't pay for getting more people to like. Why should I have?
Exactly.
Why should I don't want 1,000 likes. I want 3 people just to buy my hoodie. And 3 people, that's already $400.
Exactly, right?
1,000 hoodie, 1,000 likes. What is that? To me, I'm a live on person. I'm one-on-one kind of. I like to be right there with people, and I like to be within everybody's touch. I'm not into that. I don't even use media to get. I don't give a shit about it. You go. I always tell people, look at Wikimedia and find out what you can find out. But That's me. But the only reason I do social media because I want my family to know I live far away.
Yeah.
And I like them to know exactly what I'm doing, where I'm doing, what I'm doing. And in a way, I'm softly just trying to tell them, bro, don't stop working.
Yeah.
You know, the action, like they say, action plays a bigger part in inspiring people than anything else, you know. And my friends, all my good friends, are like, oh, you freaking guy, you doing barbecue sauce now? You freaking guy, still. I'm like, when pandemic happened, they go, bro, all you fat freaking guys going to die. They're all teasing me. I don't
and
give
you're
a
like,
shit.
wait a minute.
I go,
exactly.
You know what? My father told me, when you stop moving, you become a dead meat.
Yeah.
I want to be a live meat, keep on moving. So even the pandemic year, man, 20, in Japan, they asked people to stay home. I told them we stay home. I created this barbecue sauce because I didn't know the pandemic was coming. So I go, frick this. Once the stay home thing is gone, we're gone. 47 cities, bro, on the road.
Hitting them,
bro. 47 cities, so 12,000 packages and stuff. I thought, this is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And, you know, I cannot stop. It's just, to me, and I've done anything on my own. I've worked really small. My company is just me and 3. When I need to do big things, I hire outside. But I've learned how to not to stop, man. I just don't want to stop, period. I think through my actions speaks louder than the words, you know.
Well, you saying talking about being in Japan, so you still live in Japan?
I've been living there for the past 40 years.
Citizenship?
Citizenship in Japan.
Man, see, but do you ever think about, okay, I can move to Hawaii every now and then, or is visiting for you?
Hawaii is always going to be a Hawaii no matter what. You know, I have a beautiful Japanese wife, and I love the Japanese culture. And now I represent the Japanese more than anything else.
Absolutely.
And as doing this sumo mission thing, I think I've taken upon myself to educate the world about sumo, the sumo world and stuff.
Does the Sumo Association ever say, you know what, he's actually helping our sport? Because you're not in the association no more. You're doing this obviously on your own.
On my own, yeah. I do a lot of things for them. When they ask for
I was about to say, you do a lot of this stuff for the sport. It's like, he's not part of the association no more, so maybe.
As long as they know I'm doing something, you know, I don't ask anybody. When they ask favors for me, I do it right away. They ask me, how much you want to get paid? I don't want to get paid from you guys. It's easy. Let me just do it. Whatever you guys need me, call me. So I do a lot of things. I'm still like, you know, people laugh at me because Japan is very proper, right?
Yes.
Formal, right? So when people go and see like the CEO and all the top executives in sumo, they all have to dress up. Bro, I walk in there with my shorts, my t-shirt every time. And they're like, all these guys are running the stable. I mean, running the schools. They're already guys that I wrestled with, right? So you can hear them yelling, oh, President, Konishki's over here with his freaking clothes. Konishki's here with his freaking shorts and t-shirt. You know, to them, it's not normal, right?
Yeah, because
everybody sees everybody wearing suits, get necktie. Not even one time. I thought, frick you guys. You guys take me as I am now. I don't belong to you.
Exactly.
If you need my help, I call you. But I never needed your help. So
no, see?
Wake up, brother.
You're the one that's doing this tour, and the credibility that you bring with you alone, because you're already the Konishki, you're almost Yokozuna. Like, doing that now, is there something you could see in the future, you having your own sumo schools and stuff like that now?
Nah, never a school, but I want to try to find ways where all these ex-sumo guys has a place to go to start teaching.
That was my next question.
That's where I want to go with this. And what I'm doing right now, like I told the boys that I took on this tour, this to me is I only do it for you guys. I don't need this, to be honest with you guys. But I love what I did. I love what I'm doing for it. And if I can have a market for you guys, all these retired guys to come out and do this all over the world, I think it's unreal. Because after this tour, I go in January, I go to Saudi Arabia to do this.
Wow. To do the same tour.
So the same thing.
Wow.
And then after that, Vietnam and stuff like that. So
are you taking some of the older
the same guys that I took and stuff. And that's my goal, is them to run their own thing. You know, if you guys can learn how to put this business together, it's good for you guys. But I'm turning 60 next year. I don't want to. I'm trying to slow down and stuff like that.
You look good for 60, Konishki. Tell you, especially having this legendary career you've had that we've talked about. We talked about Michael Jackson earlier too. We talked about Rich and Tone. You being in that culture too kind of brings you in kind of like personal spaces with stars like that. How did that coming up in your career doing the Michael Jackson stuff? What other stars were you came in contact with to say, okay, I could have that part of my resume now?
It's crazy. Everybody from the Rolling Stones, Aerosmith, Janet. We went out with that Janet Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Whitney, on and on. So Sylvester Stallone hosted him before. We met Michael and Charles Barkley and all those guys. We played basketball. There's a video of us
That's right.
playing basketball and stuff like that. So the good thing, like I said, all the foreigners, no matter what, even not only celebrities and sports figure, all like CEOs and top executives, everyone wants to go to sumo.
Yeah.
Everybody. So I don't know what it is. During my sumo career, I used to spend a lot of time donating my time to charities.
Yeah.
And I used to do that, and all the charities in the Tokyo area was all this top corporate. So all the corporates remember me doing sumo. They would always come to me. All the big companies would always give me a call. And
you got a household name at that point.
Yeah. So I do a lot of coordinating all this private stuff, VIP stuff. You know, that coordinate everything from their tickets to the going there, pick up, or even the dinners if they need one. And then if I have time, if they want me, I would be tag along and explain to them, and take them to the sumo experience and stuff. I call it the VIP sumo experience. So I've done that, and that's where it comes. Everybody wants to see sumo. Yeah. No matter what. All the basketball. The reason why Stephen Curry, I got a phone call from the NBA. They said, "Oh, is there any way you can bring some sumo wrestlers to practice?" I said, where is the practice? I didn't, this and that. Okay, what time? And then I just take them. I just go grab a couple guys, talk to a sumo stable master. I still have the connection to the sumo guys. So I take them down and all the players take photo with the boys. And and the young sumo guys, they know Stephen Curry. So now they're happy. It's a two-way line, So it's perfect. And then right after the meeting at practice, Stephen's people call and they call me up, his bodyguard or something. Hey, is there any way can you get him to watch a real practice session?
Of the sumo practice?
Yeah, it was sumo practice. Wow. Where people wasn't letting people in because of Corona. Yeah. So I made a phone call to talk to Musashi Maru. They'll give me an hour and then I call back. We on tomorrow, but you only can bring 8 to 10 people. Yeah. You can't bring the whole entourage. Yeah. So they came and then we did that at the stable and then they were all stoked with that stuff. So it's connected because of sumo. Everybody wants to see sumo. And I think it runs synonymous. Like a lot of these stars, you talk about Steph Curry, I think they think about Japan, you think about sumo. Yeah. And who's the top of the top. Something you cannot find, that's why. It's the only place you can find. It's like almost taboo where it's like a secret society. Yeah, it is. Because I remember me and Boog went to Japan a few times and I was like, I would love to go see a sumo match. And it was kind of like that same thing too. When people in Japan seen Samoan guys like me and Jay Boog, they thought we were like sumo wrestling. But that's because of the culture that you guys have there too. But like we were talking about with the stars, we're talking about with Steph Curry. He was wearing one of the Konishki hoodies on Instagram the last time you guys met. Tell us about these hoodies you have coming out right now. Well, I've been coming out with, like, if people look at this hat, this is my sumo logo. Yeah. And I started this even during Corona. I told myself, bro, I've been sitting around. I got to create something. Yeah. So it's the logo myself. I was trying to figure because I did the art myself. 3 years in a row, I couldn't find something that would click. Yeah. The logo is everything. It got to click. So finally, I found this logo. Boom. Once it clicked, the art you see on me on my clothes is the super famous artist in Japan. He's a well-known guy. Yeah. So I went to a food artist, and I loved his work. I followed this guy's work all the time. Yeah. So I called his office. And tell him, hey, I'm a big fan of yours, and my name is Konishki. He hang up the phone. He thought it was it was all a joke. Prank call. So I call it later on where I was talking to some management. I thought, no, it's real Konishki. I really want to have lunch with you. So I finally got in touch with the guy and told, your art is something that, because I want to stay tradition to the stuff. Stay true to the game. Yeah. So the Fude art is Japanese. My sumo is traditionalist. And the only reason why this is black is because I'm celebrating 40 years in Japan. Man. Usually all my stuff is all white. Yeah. It has to be white because in sumo, white is winning. Yes. And then okay, so winning is like the symbolism. The symbol is white. Got it. So that's why all my first stuff is all white. So just this year we celebrated 40, so it's black. You get the black cap. So next year we have a red hoodie. Oh, because nice. In Japan, when you turn 60, you celebrate what we call akafundushi, which is a red robe. Symbolizes everything is symbolizing your 68 year of life. Yeah. So next year is going to have red. After that, it's going back to all the white stuff again. Yeah. So every year, I'm buying art from this guy, which is kind of expensive too. But it's worth it. I tell him, I don't care how much it is because it's worth it. And it's something that I'm going to treasure forever. Yeah. So every year I buy like three new art, and I'm just waiting for the right time to actually do more. But everything comes out of Japan, so I try to keep it. I always want to check everything myself. Yeah. So I do everything myself. I do the placement, I ask for the art and how I want things to do and stuff. Yeah. So it's hard for me to do anything outside of Japan yet right now. So
it's always crazy to hear a Samoan kid raised in Hawaii, so the ties in Japan that just has it where now in your career, like you're talking about, you're celebrating 40 years, you're about to be 60, you still have close ties to Japan. Like, I mean, you was raised in that culture at 18 years old, coming there and that just leaving your staple on the game. And just to have these kids watching the podcast now, and that was the reason I was telling you, I want them to hear this story because they don't get to hear you guys' full story. Same thing with Rich and Tone, a lot of these other guests that I have here, because I said when Konishki came in here, there's a kid right there that said, like, I know, but I don't know. Now with you coming in and telling your story, I feel like they know, but what is something they didn't know that they're watching right now they might want to know right now?
Well, being a Samoan kid and something about Japan, the reason why I'm so hooked to it is because they work to perfection, every little thing.
Yeah.
And if you ever get an opportunity, like you have your opportunity, you had a chance to go to Japan, like even from the food to little things.
Oh my God.
And then that's something that I learned from, because I do a lot of cooking myself. Yeah. And it's so almost perfect. And and then when you leave Japan, when I come on the show, like I'm like so suffering right now with the different food. And so, so to me, I want the kids to understand that if you can't open up to a culture, you're going to find out that it's going to only add to making you a better person. And it's not everything is going to match up to who you are or it's going to fit what your lifestyle is. But there's a lot of things you can learn from it, and there's a lot of things they can learn from me. A lot of things that all these Japanese learning from me that I treat everybody like family, which is very different. Even now, like they're not used to me. Hey, brother, I call them brother, I call them sister. I hug them, and it's not normal for them. But I continue to do that, and they
pick up on it.
And they pick up, and they're like, because they can tell me in my face, they DM me, and they're like almost crying, like, I'm so happy you call me brother. Yeah. And to me, because that's how I feel. Yeah. And anybody right now who surrounds me or part of my life right now, everybody's a family to me.
Absolutely.
And I don't have time to make friends. I'm within the family. Yeah. And everybody's connected. Is a piece of my family right now, abroad or here too. So that's how it should be. So that's something that's not culturally Japanese. Like food. I invite anybody into my house. You're like, hey, I go cook for them. Like, right in my office, I go in the backside, I cook for like a whole group of guys like walking in. I'll cook for you guys. And for Japan, for see me do stuff like that's Konishki. You cannot make him do that. To them, I thought, bro,
you're supposed to have somebody else doing that. But Konishki's
my whole life I've been doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they think they're looking at what I had accomplished. Yeah. I thought you gotta look where I came from. Yeah. That's what I did to survive. That's what I did for my family. That's what we had to do.
That's how we were raised.
That's how we were raised. So what I'm doing now is something it's within me. I don't even have to try. Yeah. You know what I mean? Absolutely. When you do it so much, it comes naturally, and people see me when I do that, and they look at me, they compare who I am today, and they don't know who I was yesterday. It kind of makes their brains up. I tell them, no. We and like for them to sit next to me, it's like, oh, can we sit next to you? Yeah. Of course, the chair's right there. Sit down, like
Do you find yourself sometimes slipping up where you're not in the sumo culture anymore, but you still kind of like if you're around like in Vegas and you do something that's I probably should have done it, because of course being raised in that, you have to be on the microscope.
I have a hard time, like I wouldn't know that I don't know what it is, but I'm nervous when I'm in the U.S. Yeah. I get real nervous. Like today is the first time I got out of the room and it was like roaming around. I don't want to like hurt them. Yeah. Real Japanese style is like every time you have to be real kind and stuff. Right? So I'm like, hi, relax, Ale. Yeah. Yeah.
Because being over here now, and like I said, I appreciate you coming here because we were talking and you were just doing. You ended the sumo tour in LA.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm leaving to Jamaica tomorrow. There would be nothing better to kind of get you in here. And I appreciate you doing that because I think your story needed to be told.
No, I just wanted to be part of this podcast because I see all the people that went through. Yeah. These guys, just like my brothers, are walking through this show, and like you guys deserve. In fact, right before I came, I was talking to Tua. Yeah. In New Zealand.
Oh, David Tua, man.
David Tua.
Yeah, the Tua.
And
man.
I never met him too. So Tua is the first time I talked to him. I called him.
Yeah.
Because he inboxed me. He wanted to be my friend.
Yeah.
So I friended him, and they were like talking back and forth. I just called him. Like, whoa, bro. Yeah. Yeah. So.
And it's crazy because like what you just say with Tua. In our demographic, in our culture, it's like we see the legends doing what they do. And I think reaching out, it's not like to me, it was like a cold call, like to see if Konishki would want to be on the podcast. And, you know, kids today like, oh, you know, I can't hit The Rock. I can't hit Fiji. I can't hit Konishki because they think they're unattainable.
Yeah.
What I can tell you firsthand is that we haven't lost our humbleness as a culture. And for me to reach out to you just on a cold call saying, Konishki, I would love to be on the show. People would say, oh, he would never hit back. You hit me back like within 5 minutes. And we already was talking about getting you on the show. But how today does that humbleness take you a long way from growing up from a kid in Hawaii, being Samoan, to going through this whole Japanese culture to say, look, that's part of what my upbringing was?
Well, exactly. Well, you got to think what mom and dad and grandpa and grandma went through. You know, I tell people the shit I went through is nothing compared to what they went through.
Absolutely.
And all the hard work I get, all the stuff I have today is because of them.
Yeah.
And I praise my parents. I praise them because they're the one night and day, always on their knees, always praying for the family.
Yep.
And they come from very strong religion background. You look back to all our families, there's no freaking way.
Yep.
And they came here when we couldn't even speak English.
Yeah.
They're the one that struggled.
Yep.
My task in Japan ain't shit compared to what my parents went through.
Exactly.
You know, so when it's humbleness, you know, when you see The Rock the way he is, you see how Fiji or even all our Polynesian players.
Yeah, all
they
the players.
understand that because that's the unique thing that everybody's noticing.
Yeah.
I talked to some coaches that I don't even know, just being in the mainland. From the mainland that I met and the first thing you say, man, some people it's so easy to coach.
Yeah.
Where is
So
that from? You
respectful,
tell me where that's from, because everybody's scared of your mom.
Exactly.
You know, even at
they're scared of that iron fist that you was raised with. Yeah.
But you know, it's that humbleness that we understand. Our parents went through much more hardship to get us where we're at today.
Yeah.
We're the generations actually. Well, my generation, I'm older, so I'm the generation that's just taking all that shit just to get shoes to play football. I ain't got shoes.
Yeah.
You know, everything's like sports wasn't part of the plan.
Absolutely.
Just go to school and find a job, you know, kind of thing, which we understood because they didn't know more, and they were just making life. Try to put every food on the table and make sure everybody went through high school and stuff, you know. You don't have any too much dropouts those days, my years, because everything was focused on a family and go to school.
Yeah.
So like now, I praise, I'm humble because of that.
Yeah.
You know, bro, we ain't going to be bigger than what our parents did for us at all, you know.
And that's what keeps us grounded. I think it's still being in the business that we are today. You still doing what you're doing today is appreciated. And I think with podcasts like this and, you know, opportunities like this, it's opportunity for people who didn't know the story and didn't know the background, for them to kind of really dwell in it and be like, oh, I heard it from the horse's mouth, instead of hearing it on a Wikipedia page. But with that kid sitting there at that fork in the road like you was, you know, ready to leave everything and just kind of go the other way, what advice do you have for that kid at that fork in the road?
See, right now, I think the biggest challenges for us right now with the kids, because they have all the information they need, or they have it at the palm of their hands.
Too much information.
So the thing is, how do we get them? Because a lot of them, they all mean the right thing.
Yeah.
They all want to do good because mom and dad. But some kids cannot handle that pressure. So how do you work that? I've talked to many of my friends' kids privately, because their father come and talk to my son and stuff. So I talk to the kids, and one of the biggest challenges I see with the kids is they're trying to prove too much to their parents. So I tell them, okay, you listen now, boy. You good at what you do, right? He said, yeah. You think you can do real good? You know, what's holding you back? Well, I feel the pressure. Well, don't think about your parents then.
Yeah.
Because every single parent that live today wants to see their kids exceed.
Yeah, and the pressure
and be successful. If that's the pressure, if that's the distraction, forget about them. Go do your work, because whatever happens to your career, mom and dad will always be there for you.
Yeah.
So that's the pressure. For us, it's natural. We always wanted to do it. Our parents was everything to me. You know, and that's what keeps me strong, because I don't want to, even my parents up in heaven, God bless them, rest in peace, but I still feel like they're watching me.
Yeah.
I still have to represent
still look around
them.
your corner, you know, they watching.
It's a funny thing, when I was in high school, right? So all our friends after football practice, they're all smoking weed, right? So we're at the bus stop. I'm in Manoa now. I live in Nanakuli, but Manoa, after practice, went to Pack 5, so I have to catch the bus. So they're already smoking, though. Sully, smoke one, bro. I go, fuck you, bro. I ain't gonna do that. He said, bro, why? Bro, my father can hear you telling me to smoke. He goes, what the fuck you talking about? You stay in my notice, isn't it? You fucking mind. My father can see you right now.
He can see everybody. God sees everything.
My dad can see you, bro. That's how scared I am to even think about it. So shut the fuck up.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's funny because, you know, to that point, people are like, bro, You unreal, bro.
Oh yeah.
If you try to sneak in, not me.
No, you ain't gonna see.
I'm not even trying.
They always watching. They always watching.
Yeah.
Konishki, before we get up out of here, where can they go to the website to get themselves a hoodie, get themselves acclimated with everything you got going on?
Well, the hoodie is something that you cannot get only in Japan. But if you want to hear more of my story or even the classes, the Master Sumo class I do, it's a nalo.tv/sumo. It's and the other thing I'm working on my book finally. After my dad,
I was about to say the book had to be coming.
Well, the book is something I'm sitting on. Like, as we talk here, there's 4 different cultures that I have to deal with. That I have to find understanding everyone for people to what my message wanted, what I wanted to be my message. So my question to me when I wanted to write the book is, what the hell is this 18-year-old kid thinking about? Because I was trying to go back and see what the hell made me do all that shit. Mm-hmm. Because it's not normal, right? Yeah. And then again, like, I come from 4 different cultures, meaning I lived in Hawaii in American culture, but I was raised in a Samoan house. Yes. So that's 2 different cultures. Mm-hmm. And then I had to find ways to work with that 2 cultures as growing up. And then when I joined sumo, the sumo world and the Japanese culture is 2 different cultures. 2 separate ones, yeah. So I needed to kind of find what all this 4 different cultures had in common, and what certain cultures helped me push me to certain areas in the sumo culture that I had. So the thing is, I'm not trying to tell you what I did in my career. I'm telling you how I overcome all the distraction and how do I fight through things. I'm trying to find answers to it. So I'm collaborating all these different cultures and trying to write the book where people can learn from, like something I just told you about the kid. Yeah. You don't have, if something distracting you, even if that's your parents, forget about it. Yeah. Just focus on your career, because if you do good, everybody can do good. Absolutely. So that's more like what I'm working on the book right now. And then I needed to find somebody who's bilingual and understood Samoan culture, Hawaii, Japan, and sumo. So I found these 2 co-writers that are perfectly English and Japanese. Yeah. The wife is like sumo freak. She knows everything about sumo. So I took
historian.
So I took them to Hawaii and visit my family and met them. Talk to all my sisters and brothers. See them if they can find what makes me so different in the culture. So that's what the book is going to be all about. And then you can follow me. I'm on Instagram. It's Konishki. And I just do it because I want people to see what I'm doing.
Exactly. That's how I see what you was doing.
Yeah, I don't even like use it for like anything. It's mostly just I want to stay close to everybody that's close enough. That's how we met. If it wasn't for that, I'll be sitting here. So.
And I'm telling you guys, like, reaching out to Konishki, it is intimidating, because you sit there and like, okay, I wonder if he's gonna hit me back or not, because you don't know who's gonna hit you back, who's not. But I think this platform has opened it up where this is your story. This is your time to be, forever to give you your flowers, while you're still here. Well, and that was something big about it, because I want people to get their accolades while they're here and not when they're gone. So that's what was a big premise for this.
I'm very grateful for you too. I'm very thankful. All of us, as you put this thing together, because I've been in many podcasts, but this is one that like everyone wants to get on. Yeah. And it's something, the ones I've been watching, it's like still going, and you're part of the music industry, so everybody knows it's easy to get to you. And if you're out there and you need to tell your story, come on out, man, because it's a great place to go, because everybody's listening.
Man, I appreciate it.
It only gets better when we put our minds together, put our hands together. If you don't want to be part of it, just be cool. But majority of us all want to be part of it.
Exactly. But before we get about it, I need 5 of your top favorite recording artists, because I know you're a musical person. Ooh. So before we get out of here, I need to get you. I know, and I'm an old school guy too. So I had to know what was in Konishki's top 5. What are you always listening to? What are you always kind of just got on at the house when you're just chilling?
I need to go old school. I listen to a lot of like funk music. Yeah. And Funkadelic was one of that would be number 5. Yeah. I learned that from my oldest brother, Kasi. Yeah. Used to look all this Funkadelic thing.
and Parliament funk.
Yeah. Like, it's some of the, I grew up with, like Daz Band. Yeah. That should be another band. You got a Rogers. Yep. And then when I need to cool down, I listen to a lot of Samoan music. Yes. And then the one person that I always go to get myself reset is Luther Vandross.
Shout out Luther, man. Big Luther or skinny Luther?
both. It doesn't matter. He sounds the same to me. But that every time you need to relax, man, he had the music to kind of calm you down and stuff. But it's funny, when I used to go to sumo, before every match, I always played Eye of the Tiger in my car.
Why not? Eye of the Tiger was the one. And if you got a match going on, that's
all my Japanese drivers are like, oh, freaking, this guy is blasting his car.
Yeah.
Down. They must have been so sick of the song.
The Eye of the Tiger is the one.
That's 90 times a day, 90 times a year they're going to hear that song going through the tournament.
Oh, God, it's Konishki again with his Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, man, got to. We got to get the mind cleared up, man,
But I appreciate you, man, for coming by.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for all the good work, man.
Yes.
Keep it going, man.
Come on, man. Hey, keep up with Konishki if you guys haven't already on Instagram and wherever you can find my man, because I'm telling you guys, a legend is in the building, and a legend was talking with us today. And I appreciate everything you've done for the culture and everything you continue to do for the sport of sumo wrestling.
Thank you for having me, man.
With that said, that's Western Conference Podcast. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Chee-hoo.